we were selected as a recipient of a $100,000 grant.
$100,000. And had my photo taken with you guys. That was an exciting day because we didn't know if you'd get it. There's a lot of competition out there.
Right.
And that $100,000 is going to make it possible for us to help more children.
That's right.
Over there at Hibiscus.
Right, especially at the village where we're dealing with our teenage population, and we're going to open up a graphic design impact center where we can teach kids a white collar competitive job skill so that when they are trying to start their adult life, they've got a competitive wage that they can earn in a job that's exciting. Graphic design touches every business.
And I'm hopeful that this will expand in that perhaps there'll be people that want young kids that maybe will be introduced to journalism.
That's
to
right.
find that they have an ability. Remember, Debbie Maycomber is a personal friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She sold nearly 300 million copies of her books. Didn't read till she was 8 because she has extreme dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
Sees things backwards. I say things backwards.
Right.
I honestly do on air. But sometimes this gets worse as you get older. But she overcame that hurdle, and maybe we can help some kids do something that they never thought they could do.
Well, that's the whole point of Impact 100 is introducing things that are transformational that organizations can bring to bear on a community. And that's what we think we have at Hibiscus Children's Center.
And let me personally salute, I think Paul would concur with me, if you're an Impact 100 mom, lady, entrepreneur, whatever you are, it started off with 100 females who each give $1,000.
That's right.
Because collectively you can make a difference. It's like if you go to a bank and you say, hey, I'd like a loan for $100,000. They're going to go, for what? Oh, I want to open up a ice cream stand. They're going to go, they're not going to get excited because they know you can't open up an ice cream stand for $100,000. You're going to have to borrow at least $500,000 or something anyway. So if you go to a bank, you better be prepared to say, look, I need $2 million. Oh, let's sit down. Now we know you're serious. Same thing with this situation. You got $1,000 or $10,000. What can you really do with that? But somebody gives you $100,000. Well, it's expanded now to 437 women. They have $437,000 to give away this year, and 4 organizations were the recipient. You are one of them that got $100,000, and there were 4 others that got $13,000 each.
That's right. That's right. So the impact is huge in our community, and so.
God bless
you have to,
ladies.
you have to applaud that group for being innovative and forward thinking. And now we have the unique responsibility to make something unique happen in our community as a result of their generous.
You know, sometimes I wish I was a billionaire. You know what I would do for those ladies if I could? I'd say Rhett Palmer's going to put on an annual dinner or a luncheon for all of you, my treat, saying thank you.
Right.
Because not only do you have 437 people, it inspires others to get involved. And life isn't on the take, life's on the give. If you're down and out, what does the Bible say? What does the Bible say? Biblical Bill says, give unto others, and your light will rise out of the darkness like the noonday sun. Will you find that quote and then give it to us? I think it's in Malachi.
Okay.
Give unto others, and your light will rise out of the darkness like the noonday sun.
Yeah, and where that's important for me, Rhett, is when you think about a child, they're just one adult away from a successful life. Just one adult.
One adult away.
And you don't know.
Successful life.
And you don't know if you're going to be that person that just says the right thing at the right time in that child's life. And so when you think about Impact 100, there were 437. I think it was actually 439 women. But collectively they're trying to make a difference. But individually they made a difference as well. And so you just never know if you're going to be at the right place at the right time to make a meaningful difference in the life of a child.
Did you come up with that?
No. I've heard it before.
You have a child's life is somewhere a child's life is one adult away from having a new life.
That was actually a quote from a gentleman by the name of Jason Shipp, who was in the foster care system, and he tells his story about how he was really very argumentative and really determined to fail in a foster home setting.
He was angry.
He had a lot of things he was dealing with. And it wasn't until he met one adult who just refused to believe he was going to fail. And that one adult was the one that turned his life around.
Anger is usually hurt.
That's right. So we have just an opportunity. And again, I'm so excited that we have an opportunity not just to deal with the physical and psychological and emotional and mental abuse that children have to deal with as a result of abandonment or abuse,
Yeah.
but to restore hope. And that's what we're about. When I think about what Hibiscus does every single day, we are in the business of restoring hope. And the Graphic Design Impact Center gives an opportunity to a child, instead of always paying attention to programmatic issues about how they're going to get better mentally or health in their psychological health, to be able to just say, yes, I can get a job, I have value, I can earn an income, and I can be independent.
Well, I'm just there's so much to talk about that. No, now you're a little bit younger than me,
Mhm.
but I presume you're at a position where you could be retired.
That's right.
And yeah, and so you're doing this primarily as an act of love for self because you want to be validated as we all do.
Mhm.
But you could be off somewhere fishing. Instead, you're choosing to take your retirement years and be the CEO of this organization. How did we find you? How did you find us here in Vero Beach, Florida, Paul Sexton?
Well, I was living in Colorado. I was running a psych hospital at the time, and my wife and I had had a long time desire to live in Florida. And the board of Hibiscus Children's Center conducted a national search, and it just so happened that the search firm that they were working with, I had known for a number of years, and one thing led to another, and he let me know that there was this opportunity. And
Why do you think they narrowed it down to you? Did they tell you why in the end?
well, I think there was a serious search that was done, so I applaud the board. They were very mindful of
I'd like to
finding
meet the
right
board
candidate.
sometime. Is that possible?
Yeah, sure. But one of the things is actually what's happening surrounding Impact 100. I have a personal belief that nonprofits need to behave differently. Yes, we receive federal funding, and we get a lot of our funding from generous donors like Impact 100. But nonprofits have to learn to stand up on their own, and one way they do that is to start business lines like this Graphic Design Center,
And that would
so
take
that
the
it can
seed money.
right
Yeah.
and create a venture that generates revenue so that we can pay our own way. And I think that's a responsible model to demonstrate to our kids. When you're telling a child who believes that there is no hope, for them to say, you know what, there is hope. And we've learned to stand up on our own 2 feet, and so you can learn to stand up on your own 2 feet.
Did you hear Hubaloo when you were coming in? Were you listening at all or no?
No.
Okay. Well, Hubaloo was just on the line.
Right.
And he was a worship leader
Mhm.
at a huge church, I think in Tampa, for 40 years.
Mhm.
And now he, in his retirement, he goes around giving these seminars to people to learn leadership skills for non-for-profits.
Right.
And so he's going to be speaking here a week from this Friday.
Right.
If you can set aside some time, this I think would be a good man for you to meet.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, I think I can arrange that to happen.
Yeah,
I'm going to go too.
Right, just based on what you just said, we have to learn to behave as responsible citizens. We're getting donations from the community, and so
Is this your first non-for-profit?
it isn't.
Oh.
It was part of a very large nonprofit in Colorado, and we did just what
Oh,
we're
so
talking
that psych
about.
hospital was non-for-profit?
No, the
Oh.
psych hospital was a for-profit system. Prior to that, though, I was in a very large community mental health center, and we did
Well,
exactly
that's
what we're
good.
talking
You've done
about.
both then.
That's right. Yeah, and so we had learned then that you gotta create job opportunities or socially innovative programs where you can learn to stand up on your own. And so we were very successful in Colorado, and I'm trying to bring that model to Florida.
What are the qualities that a CEO? What does a CEO do? Learn how to delegate, obviously.
Well, there are a number of management and leadership skills that you have to have, but my real belief is that your job is to steward the organization through the community, making sure that you're responsible for the citizens that you're serving, in our case, abused and abandoned kids, making sure that we're providing quality services to them, but also making sure that we're ambassadors in our community. Most people just simply don't understand how pervasive child abuse is. And so a key responsibility I have is making sure that I'm getting the message out that in every neighborhood, abuse is happening, and people just simply don't know that it's going on. In Florida, over 3,000 children are removed from their homes every single month.
I hate to say this, but I know somebody in this past week. He has sold his business up in Wabasa,
Mm-hmm.
and his very nice man, a good man, and he's been a little distraught because his grandson got on drugs,
Mhm.
and he's just been given 45 years in prison because he killed his child, his baby.
Wow.
And people do things on drugs. They're giving up the power of their decision making to whether it's alcohol or drugs.
Mhm.
And I only want to put that over the air because a lot of people who get addicted tend to be more intelligent people listen to talk radio and
Right.
understand that when you take that drink or you do that drug, you are giving up your power perhaps to something that will control you. And I heard of one lady. She's in prison for her life, and she says she doesn't remember a thing, according to this person I
Sure.
met, and that she drank, was in a blackout, killed somebody. Whether it's unintended manslaughter or whatever, I don't know the situations,
Right.
but she will spend her life in jail.
Right. And there's such an epidemic in Florida and nationally. The opioid use is a very serious subject.
What do we do?
And when you think about child abuse, there are three things that really drive the child abuse problem. One is substance abuse in the home. Second is domestic violence. And third is mental health issues. And so there are three very serious social issues that drive the behaviors that lead to child abuse. And so we've got to deal with it. And one of those is the opioid use. And it's on national news. It's the president talks about it. Our senators and governors are talking about it. And there's major legislation to deal with that particular problem in our community.
Mm. I have no idea how to broach that, what to do.
Well, one person at a time. So we're right back to it only takes one adult to impact a life. So you talk about the lady that goes to prison for her whole life. Was there an adult that had an opportunity but didn't take it? It's easy to turn your eye away from a problem. It's another to face it head on and say, you know what, I'm responsible. I'm part of our community and I have a responsibility to stand up and make a difference.
I can't change the world. I can't change. Nobody's asking you to change the world. Then just step forward and help one.
Right. Right. Well, what I often say, there's two ways to go through life. You either make a mark or you leave a stain. And so if you
make a mark or leave a stain.
So if you want to do something with your life, make a mark in life. Stand up and believe in something. If you don't, there's going to be a stain left in your community. And we're in the business of dealing with kids who've had an enormous stain placed on their life. And so we're busily trying to restore that hope and remove that stain of negativity and hopelessness that children experience.
And words are so important.
Yeah, they are.
Hibiscus treats children until they're 18.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We're dealing with kids that are 0 to 12-year-old in Jensen Beach. And then we're dealing with the teenagers here in Vero Beach, 13 to 17 years of age. Once they turn 18, they age out, and so they leave our system. And then we also are treating kids in St. Lucie County. We have a 6-bed residential treatment facility there as well.
You know what I'd like? I wish somebody would write a book on people that were problematic children who turned out being great contributors and walked into history. Thomas Edison.
Mm-hmm.
He went to school one day.
Mm-hmm.
You know the story? And he was sent home
yes.
with a note. And
right.
His mother read it, and he says, what does it say? And it says that you're just too intelligent. They can't keep you in the school because you're just beyond the other students. And his mother homeschooled him for years.
Right.
And then after his mom died, he became the Thomas Edison that we know of, the inventor who changed all our lives, electricity, the incandescent light bulb.
Right.
He said he found the note, and the note said, we're sorry, your son's too stupid. You're going to have to teach him at school. And he said, my mom took an idiot and turned him into a genius. And so, she took the right road, and look what happened.
Right. Well, that's the hope we're talking about. So you have a teacher telling a child you're useless, you have no value. And it took that one mother to say, I refuse to believe that message, and restored hope. And he didn't know it till many, many years later.
Biblical Bill, you have a quote of the day from the scripture, right? So we're going to put a little reverb on his voice, and we make him sound God, not too much. We don't want too wet, but go ahead.
If you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, that your light shall shine in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. Isaiah chapter 58, and that's verse 10.
Let's hear that again.
if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul,
The afflicted soul.
then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday.
Wow. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty powerful.
There's a little secret. You know, if you're down and out,
Mhm.
people get so hung up on me, and that the greatest remedy will be stepping out of self.
Mhm.
You know, go to the go. Now you need volunteers down there, don't you?
We do.
What does a volunteer typically do at the Hibiscus Children's
There's
Center?
any number of things that they can do, but if you're talking about the village, we're always looking for mentors or tutors and people that have been there and gone through a life experience and can talk to a child and say, I know you're feeling down today and maybe you don't believe you have a future, but let me tell you my life story. I was where you are, and look at me today. I'm running a radio station, or whatever the
Well, I'd
story
love
might
to
be.
go down. I'd love. How many children are there?
We have typically about 35 to 40
here in Vero?
teenagers in Vero every
I
single
was
day.
going to say I'd take everybody out to dinner, but I don't think I can afford that.
Right.
So, but
You would be impressed. They have these cottages where the children are housed.
That's right.
And such a wonderful, warm feeling there.
well, you can take tours, right?
We have tours every single day.
What's the website?
Well, if you go to hibiscuschildrencenter.org, that's a terrific way to see us. And you can also call us at 772-299-6011.
All right, we thank you very much for coming in here. Today's broadcast brought to you by Don's Auto Repair. Okay, Don's Import and Auto Repair, and I tell you what, they're fabulous over on 43rd. And for you ladies, there is a place you can go where you can trust. You get good service and you won't be taken advantage of. Don's Auto Import and Service.
Well, I just think it's wonderful you won.
Yeah, we do too. We're super excited, and now the work begins.
Yeah.
Mr. B, let me know when I can talk briefly with you.
Yeah, I get emails from Donna.
Did you get
Oh,
the
do you?
email
Yeah,
where I'm
the
requesting
different
all the ads we
What's
did for
coming up
Don's? I'm
now?
meeting with the owner at 1 o'clock, and I just want them on my phone so I can play
I
them.
don't know that I know exactly what's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
have
they're
as
already
much
there, huh?
time as I used
Thank
to
you.
because now I'm involved here.
Right.
But,
Right.
yeah, such a wonderful, great organization. Mhm.
So I understand that Bev is taking you to breakfast today,
Yes,
next door.
This is one of
That's
them.
nice.
that's my date.
Pardon me?
This is one of them, the one that's here right now.
Yeah, we can't hear it in here.
No, it's in your headphones.
That's great you have the stand. That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
Rhett
we'll
needs.
that the thing is, people always drop their phone, and the idea is,
Oh, yes.
so now I can grab a box and
But
carry
I
it.
like the way you have the stand.
Yeah, and then you can use it to stand it up. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's good. So we're going to be meeting with Barbara here? Is that what's happening?
I told her we'd go. I think we're going to be at Panera Bread.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure. Good to see you.
Barbara.
Oh, yeah, and I'll be back,
I know you will. I know, no problem. Good to meet you, sir.
Yes, nice meeting
In fact,
you.
I'll come with Rhett. I'd love to
Yeah, it's
show
a
him around.
fun tour. Fun tour.
Okay. I'll be right with you.
Thanks for having me today, Rhett.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to be honest with you. They came to me and they were throwing some money at me for advertisements, and I'm still trying to figure out what is. I'm trying to figure out. I was embarrassed to say, what is hibiscus? Everybody gets so presumed because somebody's in their world. Oh, it's almost time for you to go on.
How are you?
Hi there. How are
Did you hear us talking about Impact 100?
No, I got here and finished it.
Too bad.
So, but
We
I
were
got a
talking
note
about
from
Impact.
Bonnie. She wasn't able to listen live, so we'll make sure we get you the MP3.
Oh, okay.
And they get the MP3 of the interview so that they can use
I
it in
don't
link.
take care of that. But you can talk to Mr. B about that.
Oh, that's Shane, Mr. Bruce.
Oh, so Bonnie's already called you.
She emailed me,
Oh,
but I
okay.
didn't get it till because I was driving. I guess while she emailed.
Yeah, they're super excited in what she's asked is anytime any of us who won, if we do any publicity at all, please let us know. We want to make sure the 439 ladies hear about it. So they're,
Yeah,
and rightfully so.
yeah. I'll be posting it up on all the Impact 100 social media, linking it back to Rhett.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
you will? You mean the interview we just did?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm glad we said such nice things. I said, I will applaud every woman there. God bless you, because I said, the whole thing,
Yeah.
making a difference collectively.
That's right, they get it done.
You do know that I secured feed1.org, which is similar to your statement. And it's feed one. That is all we're asking. Feed one, a reward everlasting is waiting for the one who will answer the call to come and feed one. I recorded that year back, about 25 years ago, up in Canada, because I said, I pictured myself, going on TV and saying, look, you can't feed the world, just feed one. If all of us would feed one, well, then with today, the way they scrutinize, and I don't have your capacity to run things, but I thought, the idea, though, the concept is, a child, one adult at a time.
Mhm.
And the good thing about these millennials are, they want to buy shoes from a company that says, okay, for every pair you buy,
Right.
a pair is going to be given to somebody who's in need.
Right. They want Tom shoes.
People keep castigating the millennials because there's 3% of them are lazy. 97% of them are big givers, and I love their attitudes.
Right.
They don't want hype.
Yep.
They want sincerity and authenticity. So,
What Panera Bread are we meeting at, Rhett?
there's only one in town. It's right here.
Yeah,
Oh.
Silver Knight, at the base of Miracle Mile.
I'll show you. Well, let's go in the back. Get out of the way
Hey,
here.
I tested something at home for you that I found, and I think will fix your Facebook Live sound. I found your,
Really?
yeah, I found your old,
Where'd you find it?
it was laying around in my cabinet, so I took it home. I only had this length cord, so
Oh,
once we
great.
know if it works, I will buy you a
Where
longer
that went
cord. So I will buy you a longer cord then,
Yeah.
so you can put it where you want it. What do you think? Using this mic
my
for Facebook
word.
Live.
What a great idea.
Okay, all right, I'm glad I found it then. So,
So so you're the one that had that years ago. You must have wanted it or borrowed it or something. And I
I
gave
borrowed
it
it, but I
to
brought,
you.
I
Oh,
thought I
great.
had brought it back ages ago.
Oh,
And
great.
so the
Great.
cords that came with it are missing. The only cord I had at home was this one.
Oh, that sound will be much better, won't it?
Yeah, so I thought I'd set it up for you
We can
and
put it
test
right
it.
there in the middle.
I'm figuring you want it over
Right
here,
here.
right?
Yeah.
So I just have
Because
to,
you put your stuff on Facebook, don't you know?
because my guests are all remote. So they can only hear half the conversation.
Oh yeah, that's got to be changed too. So the phone goes into that.
Yeah.
That's the next. This is great.
Yeah.
Who
So
would've thought that?
I'll test it for you and see
Oh,
if it works.
geez.
You mentioned it, and I was digging around all over here, and I'm like, why did I? So
Okay. Hello. So probably that first one.